Hello, my name is Starlight. Welcome to my YouTube channel, and I'm reaching out to all of you beautiful souls out there. I hope you're able to get out in nature like Starlight is. And where I am right now, even though I'm walking on Smet, you would think that I'm in the middle of a desert because the wide open spaces with the sun. But I've been out here for a while, and I do have plenty of water with me and some oranges. Whoops, sorry, I can't even see any of you. So anyway, I hope you're able to get out in nature, and I'm sorry I can't get a better view of myself on this video here because I'm in direct sun right here. It is kind of a partial cloudy day, and so I was out here treasure hunting out by myself out here in Florida somewhere. There's some treasure out here. So anyway, besides, getting out in nature is I hope you're taking good care of yourself. Please, 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 please be kind to yourself and be kind to others. And also, if you are new to my YouTube channel, welcome, and you can find me on YouTube, and that is at Starlight, and that is Kathy with a K Dingman. Plus, you can find me, actually, don't look for me on Instagram right quite yet, but you can give this video a thumbs up. And it's the heat. Starlight has got to get with it here. You could give this video a thumbs up. Plus, you can also subscribe to my YouTube channel, and you can leave a message down below. Beep, beep, beep. Hey, I do have my little bell with me. I do probably have to get some water, but you don't forget the notification bell. That way you do not miss any videos. And also, don't forget my playlist. Plus, you could follow me on Instagram, and that is at 1995 Starlight, or on Facebook, and that is Kathy with a K Dingman Starlight. So, like I said, hang on, I am going to let you see the view here as Starlight. Whoopsie. There, I'll let you, I'm sorry, I just was all thumbs there for a little bit. So Starlight's going to let you look at the sidewalk, and I'm going to get some water. So hang on. Like I said, I've been out here for a while. I don't even know how long. But that is a part of my YouTube channel, is to make sure you're taking really good care of yourself. And I really don't know what the temperature is out here, and I really don't even know how far I have to go on this trail, but here we are. And today I couldn't sleep really last night. It's kind of funny. I was thinking of all of you. I was thinking of the next video I want to make, and Starlight's got to check stuff out here. I see berries, but I got to research on those berries. is I want to talk to you about like how powerful we all are. And some of you might be well aware of it. You might know some things that we can do. And don't mind if you see like a big wild pig running out here at Starlight, because they are out here. So I have only seen one on one hiking trail in a different location, but they're all over in here, but they probably won't even come out because they hear me talking. So anyway, where I am right now walking, there's supposed to be like some kind of treasures around here somewhere. So Starlight has been out here for a while, and just taking a walk, getting a feel for the place. And anyway, like I was saying, is we're very powerful, and Starlight kind of knew this long time ago, and I just got done researching a movie that somebody had me to watch a long time ago. It was a funny movie. So as I go through this video, I'm going to let you know the name of that movie, because it was funny. And so anyway, we are powerful. And when I used to go to church, I wanted to be like Jesus, But I have to say the churches, when I went to church, I didn't understand where there was some churches that were called charismatic churches, where it seemed like they had more freedom to act a certain way in the church, like talking in tongues and healing people and different things like that. Well, Starlight came from a Baptist church, and where the reason why I went to church in the first place, because I heard so much about this man named Jesus, so I went there all on my own, like searching out for who is this Jesus man, who is the Son of God, what is he about, and that's because I did get saved before that time. And so it is interesting how I was led to go to church on my own without anybody forcing me. And when I did that is, I was learning about Jesus, and I fell in love with Jesus, and I was so grateful for what Jesus did and everything like that. And, as time went by in the church, I'm like, wow, I want to be like Jesus. I want to do things that Jesus did. Jesus was healing people. He made the blind to see. There's so many things Jesus did in the Bible in those days. And, God sent Jesus here so we were, really Jesus came here to shake some shit up, to wake people out of their sleep. And, I still, of course, I love Jesus still today. So it is amazing all the things that happen in the Bible with when Jesus got in the picture. And Jesus is not someone to, I love the way Jesus explained things, where people had to listen to the stories and get some insight about the things that he said and how his teachings were, so I learned a long time ago is, before I say long time ago about my story is that, that we do have power. We are God's children. We are, like I call it, like little g, God's, where God is the God, capital G, but we're just, God's children, but we still have power like, our Heavenly Father, which is not just God is energy, but not that God is a male. It's, that we are powerful. And the thing I got to really talk about is long time ago when I had aliens that entered in my life and really changed my life around, the things that they were able to do. When we grow and we work on ourselves and we spend time with ourselves and we get healed and we get a lot of those things out of us that's not good for us, that is not serving us, you can, have these abilities to do different things. And later on, the reason why they, my opinion, they have the computers and stuff like that and cell phones is, eventually, we won't need all this stuff in the future because we will be evolving to a higher level of, if I'm wording this right, of consciousness, where now I'm going to tell you about the movie that I watched a long time ago. So, you figure a long time ago, and it is kind of funny, this movie called The Gods Must Be Mad, or Crazy, The Gods Must Be Crazy, I think that's what it's called. And that is a funny movie, but, like, that movie was about how, like, we were at one time, like, like, we didn't know a lot, we didn't, know English and speak right, so as time has gone by, now we have computers, we have cell phones, people are building, cars that can fly, which Starlight actually, when she was in school, I had a teacher that he always studied me. I've been studied my whole life by different types of people out in my whole existence, but my teacher, even when I was in school, he was studying me and always was very curious to stuff that I wrote or any of my artwork because he knew I had gifts and talent. And he came up with a assignment for the whole class, and he said, draw something that you think that they're going to invent. And I don't know what year it was, but say 50 years from now or something like that. So we all decided to draw on our piece of paper. And it is kind of funny because I try to draw a flying car. So that's what I actually drew, was like a flying car. But of course it doesn't look like the flying cars they have now. So I know you're probably searching that up. I even had a dream about that a long time ago, about a Mercedes flying car. So, and then they have, of course, UFOs that fly around. So we've come a long way as far as, not being the way we were when we started. So later on in time, if you are growing and you're working on yourself, then eventually, we're not going to need the cell phones talking back and forth to each other. What? Starlight? We're going to always be using the cell phones. Well, not the way I see it. The way I see it is, because my alien friends, they didn't communicate with, here's a sign of where I am, so I'm going to have to backtrack. So, they didn't have, now I got to think of what I was saying. But they didn't have cell phones. They actually, this is why it's so important to be honest. Because if you're not honest, this stuff, and I believe being honest is how this has to work out. So if you work on yourself and you're an honest person, you can actually grow, and God will bless you with different gifts that you are able to tap into. And you'll be able to do things that, at one point you weren't able to do. But imagine that, because some people can do this, Some people can pick up your thoughts. Some people, I did this recently with my daughter, through my, through texting, where, I was going to tell her how her uncle was doing before she even texted me about how her uncle was doing. So I tapped into her thoughts without even trying. It just came natural, like as we were connected through that phone device. It's like somehow or another, I tapped into, tell her about how her uncle is doing, how my brother's doing. And she texted right back and said, wow, I just was thinking about that. I was just wondering, how is my uncle doing? So, to me, my own personal opinion is the phones are just one more step closer to, coming to that time where we actually, maybe not in this lifetime right here, not to the full extent, but eventually, sometime in the future, we will already know what each other is thinking. Just like my alien friends, is that telepathic wise is how they spoke to me. Now, you might think this is odd, and I do want to make another video, cause that's why I couldn't sleep last night, is I do want to test you out on something. So I've been tested myself in the past. So when I say this about telepathic, like being able to read each other's minds, so that's why I believe it's so important to be honest, because if somebody's not being honest and the one person is being honest and they read somebody's mind and the other person's like, no, you didn't. Well, because they're not being honest, you'll never know. But by being honest, I think has a great deal of being able to get these gifts, that we all can have. And on that note, is long time ago, when I was living with my son, we lived at a beautiful 2-bedroom house out in the country, and we had 2 dogs. He had a little Chihuahua, and I had a little dog, her name was Sassy, and it's something is dogs are telepathic. And you might be like, where are you coming up with this stuff, Starlight? Well, my son, which is not right here with me right now, but he's a proof to this, is because what I was doing with our dogs is I was in the kitchen and I had some like doggy snacks, and Starlight is such a nut. Is I would, especially if I had one dog, it was easier to just do one dog at a time, because it really was harder to try to have a dog read your mind, when you got two dogs, trying to, because then I would have to split myself in half to try to get those two dogs to read my mind. So what Starlight was doing, I was doing this for a while, in the kitchen while my son was on. What was he doing? He was playing video games. But of course, my son, I do have to throw this in really quick. We had a rule about the video game, It's more or less get your shit done, then you can play with video games, but you only could be on there for a certain amount of time. And then when that time was nearly up, I would have a countdown time and say, hey, you got a half hour left on that video game. Look at this beautiful, I want to zoom this in, I don't want to scare it. But look at that, I've been trying to get pictures of these babies, but they're, so hard to get. A beautiful orange iguana here. Orange and like a bluish color, but isn't that beautiful? So long time ago, I would be in the kitchen while my son was playing video games, and I had my dog with me, and I didn't say anything, but I was picturing what the dog would look like sitting down, and I was communicating with my dog to sit, and that tone of what I would sound like saying the word sit, not shit, people, but so hang on, I got somebody riding their bike here. So I would mentally, say sit inside my headspace while the dog was just staring at me. Hang on. So my dog would stare at me, and I would hold the snack in my one hand, and I would just stare at the dog in its beautiful eyes, and I was mentally visualizing my dog sitting, and I was mentally saying the word sit, and my dog actually sat down to get a treat. Now, it didn't happen right away, but the more I kept on doing this, I had other demands that I had is, I'm trying to think what she used to do. Oh, lay down. So I would switch it around and test it out to see how well my dog could actually hear, my thoughts inside my mind, and know, hey, if you want this doggy treat, So I thought, this would be a great thing for the police to do this with their dogs, is to get them trained where they don't even, they could just do that for certain reasons, to telepathically give commands to their dogs to get them obeying, maybe they don't want to be heard, and tell a dog a certain command, but I'm just using that as an example. But it was really cool where I was doing this for a while, and then I had the little Chihuahua. The little Chihuahua was so excited because it loved those little doggy treats. And so I was going back and forth with both of those dogs. But like I said, it was best to do one at a time than having two, because it's very hard to tell two dogs two different messages, and have them both to obey those commands. So now the way I proved this, I was so excited, and I was laughing my butt off in the kitchen while my son was on video games. But I do have to say, even though my son was on video games, he was really good. He would stop what he was doing, come out and see what is my crazy mom in the kitchen doing now. with my dog. so he would come out, and I'm like, yeah, he's laughing so hard. I'm like, you won't believe this. They know how to read my mind. So what I did is I would write on a piece of paper so my son knew what command that I was telling the dog. And of course, I only did this a few times. I didn't do it a lot, but I bet you if I kept on doing it, the dog would have been, every single time would have figured out what I wanted it to do. So they are telepathic. Dogs are telepathic. And so I would write the word sit down on a piece of paper, and I would have to say, out of 5 times, my dog was able to obey the command that I said. But hey, I did not do that for a very long time. That was a quick, if I spent more time, I believe every single time that dog would have figured out what I was talking about, what to do. So it was amazing, where it was fun doing that with the dog. And the other thing that I wanted to help you with is there's a movie which I laughed my ass off. It got the first time when I watched it, I could have probably laid on my back laughing so freaking hard. It was so funny. I just, like, the first time, and it was Men Who Stare at Goats. I cracked up so freaking hard, the way the actors were in that movie and what happened in that movie. And that's about remote viewing and stuff. So they do know that we can, there are things that we're capable of doing. It's that, really, it's this flesh that gets in our way. But there's things that I was able to do when I was younger, like at the age of 19, where I used to get high, smoking marijuana, and then I had like a white wax, and I would light the wick, and I dripped it in my hand, and I kept on doing that for that one night, and I formed a ball. Well, then I went to sleep that night, and when I woke up the next day, when I rolled that ball around on my floor, it kind of was funny. It felt like it was really cool because it had only one flat side on it because it dried on the countertop that night. But so anyway, I smoothed that flat spot out, made it a perfect circle, and I had a rectangle tin can of Oreo cookies when Starlight used to eat a lot of junk food. And I took that tin can and I tipped it upside down, and I put that ball of wax on top of the tin, on the bottom of the tin can, so the bottom was facing up. And so every night I had a habit of would smoke marijuana, sit after my daughter was sleeping. I never smoked in front of my kids when they were little, especially my daughter. My son never witnessed any of that stuff, but they never knew about it. After she went to bed, so it was mommy's time, it's mommy's time. And so I would sit and put that ball of wax on the bottom tin can of that Oreo cookie. The bottom was upside down, like the bottom was facing up, and where it's just the rim of the bottom on the top, if that makes any sense. And I would put that ball of wax, and I would take my 2 hands at each end of the rectangle shape of the tin can, and I was goofing around with this ball, rolling it around on there with my 2 hands, moving the tin can around. And I did this night after night after night after night. And what happened is, it's like I was studying how this ball moved on this tin can, and eventually I was able to move that ball on that tin can without moving my hands. So it was really cool. Is I had such a habit of doing it that a person came to my house to visit me, and here we got stoned, and that means we got high, and I had such a habit of every night grabbing that tin can, putting it upside down, put the ball of wax on there, and do my thing with my hands. Well, I wasn't even doing anything with my hands. And it was so funny because that person that came to visit me that night, it blew him away. He wasn't even paying attention for the first part, and then he realized, oh my, how is she freaking moving that ball of wax, but her hands are not moving. Her hands are not moving, but that ball of wax is moving around. So, there's people that have been able to do that, where they can move things around with their mind and stuff. And so I thought it was so funny, because that guy really needed it. I like scaring the heck out of people that mess with me, So I've done that with other people in my life. I've had where 3 men ran out of my apartment before. So Starlight has done some funky stuff to people. So it is funny how some people, if they don't really know what is going on, you could scare the heck out of them, where they're like, I gotta leave somewhere. And it was funny because 3 guys, bam, 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 they just boom, boom, boom. I'm like, where did everybody go? But because Starlight was a white witch. So we do have abilities, and we do have power. And when you work on your third eye and your crown chakra and your meditations and stuff, that you'll be able to sense things, just like the animals. The animals can sense things before something happens a lot. So anyway, this video is getting long. I really think about your life and the things that you've been able to do, and I know I got to get a drink really soon. It is hot out here. I was like, wee. It's like the guy told me this is like the worst time to be out here, and I'm out here. So I do love you. I'm gonna make a fun video, but I really gotta have enough time to, I gotta figure it out how to do this with you. But I'm gonna have fun with you in another video. I am not saying when, because it's gonna be a lot to set up. I gotta figure out where I'm gonna set it all up, how to do this in my situation right here. So I do want to have fun with you in another video, hopefully soon, because I want to have fun with you. And because I've gone through shit in my life, and I love you so much. I hope you realize that you do have more power. You do have other senses. Later on in life, I really thought I did this before. I wanted to turn my fan off, and the weird thing is, I don't remember getting up to turn the fan off. And bam, the fan was off. I mean, imagine that you're like, you want your fan to shut off, or the light, like they have clap on, clap off. Really, these are tools that they have us using right now, because we do have the power. We do have that in us to be able to do things with our minds. It's just that we've been... really, they've lied to us our whole time. They've kept these secrets away from us, so we never know our full power, our full potential that we have as spirit beings having a human experience. So we are able to do different things. There's a lot of people online that have done some crazy stuff, so there's people out there that has proved this, and sometimes even people that are dishonest, people that are more of a dark energy kind of type of people, they have been able to do some funky stuff, So anyway, Starlight's got to get some water. And I love you so much. You can give this video a thumbs up. I am hot. Not in that good way, though. Not that way. But you could give this video a thumbs up. You could subscribe to my YouTube channel. You could give me a glass of water. You could actually share my videos with the iguana, maybe a pig. Also, you could follow me on Instagram at 1995 Starlight, or on Facebook at Kathy with a K Dingman Starlight. So yes, Starlight's got to get some water. So I really hope you get a lot of help. And you know who you are, the ones that actually have been able to do things before. And I've done some funky stuff in my past, So I know I have power in me, and I know it's not just me. I know you do too. So this is Starlight. This Starlight, love, light, and peace. Whew.